This episode was recorded on November 11th, Remembrance Day, and as such, we will observe a moment of silence before the podcast begins.
This is a friend of the pod and number one franchisee, Mary Jane. I am recording this because I essentially bullied and harassed Ben into doing this next franchise. So every time Ben and Alex complained about how painful this is going to be, which I resent, by the way, that's technically my fault. And then when time finally came to record, I had made plans and couldn't even attend. Whoops. So anyway, introducing my second favorite young adult fiction with a love triangle movie adaptation franchise. This is The Hunger Games Part 1 and Part 2, Catching Fire. These movies have everything: action, archery, and hot guys fighting for the affection of a troubled yet resilient young woman. Anyway, enjoy this episode discussing one of my favorite movie franchises. I will be at the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair looking at the horses and the baby cows. Bye!
Getting hungry, hungry for my kind of woman. I'm getting hungry, soon I gotta find me a woman. I'm getting hungry, searching for a pretty girl.
We're live.
All right.
Whoa. Reunited.
Well, yeah, we're back live in the podcast studio,
studio.
Face to face, cheek to cheek. Yeah. You've just heard a introductory message from friend of the pod, number one franchisee, at least one of the number ones. Jordan's up there, and
Top six,
easily top six, and past and future guest, Mary Jane, whose idea it was. When I was talking about how Dune might be canceled, not hard canceled, like because of something Dune that did.
They were very insensitive towards the Bene Gesserit culture.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is something to talk about there, I'm sure. Maybe we'll get to that.
Showed worm in public.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get right up in there. Yeah. And yes, well, you know what? I had mentioned that, and or maybe even before that, MJ was like, "When are you doing Hunger Games? When are you doing Hunger Games?" You know, incessantly, right? When are you doing Hunger Games? At all times of the night, messages. When is the Hunger Games franchise coming?
Like 5 a.m.
Yeah, like weird, like odd hours
Voice
where you're
memos.
like, what? Yeah, like, is she okay?
Heavy breathing.
Exactly. Yeah. Stalkerish behavior. Yeah. And we understand, you know, you're a fan of the show and you listen to the episodes, and that's very nice. But you know, just please, like, let's keep it at a bit of a distance. You know?
We have a lot of swim fans in the franchisees.
Yeah,
swim
we do.
Franchisee.
I can't wait till we do the swim fan franchise. Swim fan. It's Swim Fan 2, of course.
There was like a cool German movie called like The Fan or something that played at the review.
Yeah,
that
Der
I wanted,
Fan.
Der Fan.
Yeah,
I wanted to see it,
one of my
but I
favorite things
didn't.
about German movies.
Maybe we can lump them together.
Yeah, for sure. Der Fan, Das Boot. What else? That's it. Das Experiment. That's one.
That's the entirety of German cinema.
Yep.
Oh, Der Golem.
Der Golem, classic. Yeah,
Great
I
one.
bought that for your cousin Maxim one.
Oh, it was a great choice. I'm sure he loved it.
Yeah.
I like the German name for Hanukkah's The White Ribbon, Das Weißband.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun movie, eh?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
That's a hoot. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Mary Jane, for suggesting this franchise. Well, thank you. And also, look what you've done. Now we're talking about them. It's an example of something I would call the Mary Jane effect, where Mary Jane will suggest something and you'll say, yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And in honor of Mary Jane,
yes,
we have Will on the pod.
Yeah. Well,
Stand in.
Yeah, stand in,
Close
stand in,
second.
temporary stand in. MJ will be joining us for the Mockingjay parts 1 and 2, which the director, Francis Lawrence, ripped asunder during the adaptation, and we will again
Put them back together.
mush them back together. Yeah.
Same
Into
what
one.
we're doing with Hunger Games and Catching Fire.
Yes, which was unintentional, but it's important. Just because the podcast we're trying to keep it regular doesn't mean that life can't get in the way.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard this? That sometimes life is what happens when you're making other plans. Did I say that right? Sometimes life, is what happens, right, when you're making other plans. You ever heard that?
Something like that.
Something like that?
I might have read it on a pillow.
It goes by fast, and we need to slow down and enjoy it or something.
It's later than you think.
That's right. But
Pardon, am I still that far? No, not at all. Please.
No, you're okay.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm just listen to Alex. He knows what he's talking about. Anyway, we're doing the Hunger Games movies,
yes.
And because we had taken a week off, we're going to have to mush Hunger Games and Hunger Games Catching Fire together into one episode, and then Mockingjay 1 and 2 together into one episode. But then, for the fifth movie of the franchise, but the third episode, we will devote a whole new episode, brand new, to the new Hunger Games prequel movie that everyone is excited about and no one thinks will suck. Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yes, up there for worst sequel titles of all time with Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
And
what is the Jarhead sequel? What was that called?
There's a Jarhead.
There's a Jarhead.
Pump the
there's
brakes.
like 4 Jarheads or something. Yeah.
I feel like the Jarhead sequels.
What?
Hang on, I'm
but they
pulling them
go
up.
like full on, like they lean into like kind of the first half of Full Metal Jacket, where it's like really like kind of boot campy kind of, and it's just dreadful.
Yeah, I imagine there's actual
Completely
like,
misses
combat
it.
in
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
I remember
That was the whole point
The
of the
point of
first
Jarhead
one.
was like he doesn't do anything and he goes crazy.
Yeah. Jarhead 2, Field of Fire.
There we go. Yeah.
Which was a scene in Jarhead, if I recall, when he's like walking through the oil fields that are on fire.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Jarhead 3, The Siege, and Jarhead, Law of Return.
Next, you're going to tell me
I don't know what that one's about.
A little dicey
I
there.
don't know what that one's about.
That's
Next, you're going to say there's Hurt Locker sequels.
I
there
don't
are
think
not.
so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yet.
I got my hopes up.
Hurt Locker 2, The Meat Locker.
Yeah, there we
he
go.
works as a butcher now that he's
Hurt
home.
Locker 3, Davy Jones's locker, and it's
Yeah.
for Navy.
Yeah.
That's right. Or a Hurt Locker prequel called The Locker,
Yeah.
and it's a high school drama. They're nerds. They get thrown in the locker, etc.
Yeah.
And they're like, one of these days, I'm going to join the U.S. military, and I'll get back at all you bullies. And it turns out, the wheel of time turns, and he gets to prove himself as a man, but in the worst war in the world. You hear that? And this is a message to all of you young recruits and Royal Canadian Military College attendees who Alex and I were rubbed shoulders against during our Queen's days.
Yeah.
You didn't know anybody there, did you? We had never fraternized with any of those people.
No, I had friends who like hooked up with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lady friends. Because they were all boys at that school, right?
No gays.
No gays. Yeah.
No gays at the Royal Military.
Certainly not. Not in Canada's army. That would be un-Anglican.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I had a coworker. All right, here we go. Will Gertler is our guest again. Thank you for coming back.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It was your birthday recently.
It was indeed.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah. Go on then.
One of my coworkers at the drape cleaning factory I worked at. Now, it wasn't really a drape cleaning factory. It was like an events warehouse that had multiple different, like sections to it. And it was a terrible job that I did for, I don't know, like maybe 2 or 3 months or something. But I was working at like cleaning like pipe and drape, like really just like terrible bottom of the barrel manual labor. And so the people who were attracted to that, it was a bunch of really strange people. And one of them was this guy, Libertarian John.
That was his name.
Yeah. That's what I called him anyway. His name was John. He was like a self-published author, and I have some of his books. And I've never dared read them. I was kind of too scared to see what shocking truths may be inside.
Like chick tracks kind of thing, like leave them around bus stations and stuff.
I mean, yeah. Like
how else are you going to get rid of them?
Exactly. He would leave them at bookstores, I'm pretty sure. And I remember he had a Canadian flag tattoo on his arm. And I said, oh, like that's kind of a weird thing for you to have, because he was all, he was very like anti-government this and about this and this and this. And he said, yeah, like, no, I have it as a joke. Like, it's to like trigger people. This is the kind of guy we're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Wait, why did I bring this guy up again?
Talking about RMC chuds.
Oh yeah, the Royal Canadian Military College.
Oh yeah,
you were friends with.
No, sorry, that's the origin of the phrase. That would be un-Anglican. He just used to say that all the time.
Oh,
anytime, yeah, and he was actually funny sometimes. He said some funny things.
That is a good line.
Yeah, he would just say anytime, whatever, he would say, that would be downright un-Anglican.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that guy. And I mean, I'm Anglican, right?
Right.
Yeah. Technically, he's baptized Anglican.
Let's bring him on the show.
It means something to me. I don't know where he is. I don't know actually if he's still with us.
Oh.
Who knows? It's hard to say. Seems like the kind of guy who could just get swept up by the big city and disappear.
If he is around, Libertarian John.
Libertarian John, yeah,
come on the pod.
I actually do remember his last name. I just remembered his last name, but I probably shouldn't, just in case.
Yeah, you'd be violating the NAP if you said it.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that was a very tightly secured facility. Yeah, you had to have like high level clearance to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, what a crazy place. Just the coworkers you meet. There's like work friends you're like forced to fraternize with. It's very funny.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure you do.
Speaking of you having a hearing for your security clearance for the drape cleaning factory.
Yeah.
Will, have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
No,
I haven't.
Did you
hate it? Okay.
I still haven't seen it.
Okay.
And I will do my level best. I understand that it comes out on something that I can get on a laptop in in a couple of weeks, and I will do it then.
You may be able to download it right now, actually.
Oh, really? On Legal Movie Downloads?
On Legal Movie Downloads.
Okay,
I've seen a lot of Legal Movie downloaded clips on Twitter, and it reminded me how much I actually really like that movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything recently? Anything else?
Actually, this is a little bit of a funny thing. I watched the film of What We Do in the Shadows the other night.
Yeah,
which,
nice. Yeah.
I had a good time. I don't know what to say.
I saw your Letterboxd review and I commented, "Don't let Ben bully you into not liking what you like."
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Don't.
I'd like to show a little bit better what little bits of the show that I'd seen, but that movie was fine.
Are you a fan of the show?
I wouldn't say fan, but I've seen a little bit here and there, and I enjoyed what I've seen. So.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay, nice.
It's good.
Have either of you seen Killers of the Flower Moon?
No.
Oh man, I want to.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
I'm
very excited. There's so many good things coming up.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Napoleon the last time?
I know. I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but
I think Ridley Scott heard who I was and said, "I'm gonna make a movie for that guy." And I hear that there's like a 4.5 hour director cut kind of thing, and I want to sit and watch Joaquin Phoenix just beat Napoleon for a while.
I'm actually really excited too. And people like to drag Ridley and call him. They like to call him awful names like
Gucci Boy,
Midley Scott. They call him, and that's so immature. Like, get a grip. But at the same time, I understand. He's made a lot of junk, and Tony Scott is maybe the better Scott. But listen, we don't need to pit brother against brother like God did with Cain and Abel.
That's right.
We can like them both.
Or comrades in arms like Ridley Scott did in The Last Duel.
Yes, exactly.
The best Scott is, of course, Adam Scott.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Oh, no, the best Scott is, what's the name of the guy who made Dilbert? Scott.
Oh, Scott Adams.
Scott Adams, yeah. I get this Adam Scott
backwards.
Yeah,
that's right.
Adam Scott Adams. He should do that.
It's a Jeopardy clue, for sure.
That seems like a joke they would make on one of their podcasts, him and Scott Ackerman.
Yeah.
Adam Scott
Adams.
Scott Adams, Scott Ackerman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's they must have said that before.
Bring him on as third mic.
Yeah. Anyway, he is genuinely deranged, man.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Which is a shame because I used to like Dilbert.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
As like a boy, you were like, oh yeah. When you read it as a kid, and you're like, I can't wait to get a job.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't wait to work in an office.
That's right, yeah.
Engineering seems cool.
Yeah, it seems funny. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I'm really excited about Napoleon too because I visited my folks recently. And a movie I'd been saving to watch with my mom for a long time was Kingdom of Heaven, his Crusades movie. Yeah. And I never saw it when it came out, but similar to, as he's wont to do with his director's cuts, there's like the original version is 2 hours 20 minutes or something, and then he finally put out a Blu-ray that was like a 3-hour long director's cut, and I think it's people I saw a lot of reviews saying this is one of the most substantial director's cuts ever, because
like it really makes a huge difference. Yeah.
You've seen it, Will?
No, but like there's a read thing sometimes is all.
I can't.
I read things sometimes is all.
Alex, that's why Will knows stuff. He hasn't experienced a lot of the things
I live
that
in
he knows, but he's read about them.
Yeah.
This is the difference between him and us.
You've got street knowledge, is what you're saying.
Yeah. We have experiential learning.
Right.
Yeah, but you've got that book learning, right? Which is important. Yeah.
Guys, hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Napoleon, Shrooms movie. I think it would be a good movie to eat some fungi.
You think so? It's pretty long. I mean, I guess that's good for that.
Yeah.
If you want to get high and go see Napoleon, I'll shit my guts out halfway through. But what I'm saying is, I thought Kingdom of Heaven was like pretty fun.
No.
I think the one thing in it though that I thought was pretty lacking is like Orlando Bloom. I think he's terrible or anything, but he's not really, he doesn't really have a lot of gravitas in that role. And so to think to see a Ridley Scott epic, like old school style, like Hollywood epic that he is pretty good at, even if, the results are are varying, right? Like I watched his Egypt movie, Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Yeah.
Terrible,
oh my God.
Terrible.
Just if there's a colon in a title of like
it's
a pretty good bellwether to find,
you gotta watch out. Yeah, it was really bad. But no matter whatever, if Napoleon is over long or clunky or whatever, doesn't matter because it's got Joaquin. It looks like he's just playing him as himself.
Yeah, this is not doing any of the accents or anything. It's great.
So good. He's just going to be a whiny little baby, and I'm really excited. Yeah. I mean, Napoleon's a cool guy.
Problematic fave.
That was one of the funny things when they announced the movie. There was some thread that was like, actually Napoleon. Napoleon. We do not stand Napoleon.
Yeah.
He's actually did some pretty bad stuff. If you read about it.
Got rid of slavery and then brought it back.
Yeah, that's
a little rough.
That's such a French thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
No offense to any of our French listeners.
Yeah. So, but, just flippant.
Yeah.
As a species.
Yeah. Will said it. That was something Will said.
We are doing a 180 and becoming an extreme edgelord podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
So
welcome to the Phrenology Cast.
That is the new name.
Is it a 180 from where we currently are?
You're right. It's more of a 45.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a pivot.
This is why I wield the editor's axe.
The stuff that hits the floor.
Yeah,
oh my
just
Lord.
all sorts of words that we can't say, so we have to say the J word, the I word, the X word, right? No, all sorts of words that have to have that. Yeah. Anyway, and maybe someday we'll release our own Ridley Scott director's cut
uncut
episode where we say every slur imaginable.
Yeah.
Just
ones that you haven't even heard
just
of.
Running. Yeah. Some really old timey ones that haven't been said since the turn of the century, not the 2000s, the 1900 turn, the original turn.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of the French, I saw Three Colors Blue for the first time.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
At the review?
At TIFF.
TIFF. Yeah.
It was the first in Cameron Bailey's new series, From the Vault or whatever, where they dust off these old 35mm prints.
I believe I have seen that exact same print.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I went with my mom. I took her. I thought she'd get a kick out of it, and she did.
Yeah.
But as the credits started rolling, she turned to me as if to say something, then thought against it, turned back, then turned to me again and went, "So sad."
It is, isn't it?
But she really enjoyed the experience and had a good time. I think she actually enjoyed the movie more than I did. I think the themes hit her harder.
Mm-hmm. It hit me really hard when I watched it. It made me cry. Mm. Yeah, but it's such a manipulative movie too.
It's very sensory experience. It's quite which I was surprised. I knew he made these movies based on the colors of the French flag and what the ideals they stand for.
Yeah.
Blue being liberty. But I didn't know it was I thought it was going to be a French drama, which it is.
No.
But it's also very
he's
sensual.
Polish, you see.
Yes. So he's got that like Polish,
got that
like
edge.
Yeah, that
Polish edge.
Tactile, sonic, audio, visual kind of immersion.
Like Polanski.
Like Chopin.
Yeah.
No, only cancel Polish people. I mean, who knows?
Is super dead.
Yeah, we don't know. You're right. That's a good point.
Good movie.
Great
it's true. I saw his grave. I saw Chopin's grave.
Which, because there's two of them, right?
Oh, the one in Père Lachaise.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Good.
But I haven't seen White or Red, obviously, and I'm really interested in seeing those as well.
Yeah. Have you seen any other Kieslowski movies?
All of the Decalogue.
You have seen
I haven't seen the Decalogue. I want to see the Decalogue
I've
as
seen
well.
the Decalogue.
Nice.
It's good.
Nice.
It's really good.
Nice.
It took me several starts to get through it. Not because it's like difficult or whatever.
No.
It's just like I would start watching it with people. So it's like, all right, we're gonna watch the Decalogue, and then it's like episode 1, episode 2. It's like, all right, well, see you next week. We'll watch the Decalogue again, and then Yeah.
Is that one in Polish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Polish TV series. And if you look at it, if you consider it as a TV series, it is only just makes it more of a monumental achievement. Like I know that barrier between TV and film is whatever, doesn't really matter anymore. I just can't imagine just like flipping on the TV and being like, Decalogue episode 3's on. They gather around everyone.
Sunday prime time.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit! Like, yeah, they're really, really good. And I haven't seen the expanded films he made out of the 2 episodes, the short film about love, short film about killing. But Double Life of Veronique is an amazing movie. Three colors white. Three colors white and red. I've only seen once each. White I don't remember. It's funny though.
It's more of a comedy. Yeah.
And I remember enjoying it. But red is really good.
Really?
Red. Like blue feels like kind of like the movie.
Yeah.
If I remember right, I think red's my brother's favorite.
Yeah, red is maybe the best. Like red is without really saying anything about the movie, but
I'll watch them with my mom. That'll be a nice activity for us, is delving into the Polish-French New Wave.
Yeah, totally. So lots of other ones I want to see as well. But and Kieslowski, of course, we know was trying to get a Hunger Games film off the ground before he passed away.
Huge Hunger Games fan.
Yeah, it's it's just another one of those what ifs, right? Yeah. What if Kubrick was able to make his Napoleon movie, right? But alas, Ridley Scott is doing it.
Yeah, we're getting the better version.
The director of Body of Lies,
House of Gucci.
Nobody knows what that is. House of Gucci, the last Ridley Scott film we would have seen in the theaters, right? That's the last one that was released, I believe.
The Last Duel.
Last Duel, I think, came first.
Came first? I don't know. I still
remember.
haven't seen Last Duel.
Last Duel is better than House of Gucci. Did you saw that?
I actually didn't mind House of Gucci that much.
I don't mind it, but it is seeing it in the theater was a bit of a slog. It's a great. I would much rather watch it. Yeah, in like 15 minutes. Yeah. I'm a Gucci, you're a Gucci.
We're all a Gucci.
We're all a Gucci. Oh man. Oh, and then Adam Driver in Ferrari coming up, where he's like, I'm a Ferrari. I drive a faster car. Like that. It's gonna be great.
I go fast.
And then his wife, Penelope Cruz, like, Ferrari, you go too fast. And he's like, I gotta
slow down.
Yeah, I can't slow down. It's my life. I gotta go fast. I gotta go faster every day.
It's because he's a pizza delivery guy.
And
if it's not there
30
in 30
minutes,
minutes.
That is how he got into race cars, eh?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, he was trying to build a faster car to deliver fine Neapolitan pizza. A Sicilian. I don't know where he's from. Probably not Sicily. But anyway, yeah.
It's like a little-known sequel to Gone in 60 Seconds is there in 30 minutes.
Okay, so we got to make that because then we can do that series.
No, it's a remake, isn't it?
It is a remake. You're right. Yeah. It is a remake. Yeah. And there is a movie called 30 Seconds or Less. Or no, 30 Minutes
with Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, which is really bad. It's really, really, really bad. I don't know why I watched it, but somewhat recently. I was probably really depressed, and I watched something really bad like that. Terrible, not funny. Yeah.
Speaking of Adam Driver, I also watched Marriage Story.
Hey! I'm getting married over here.
Yeah. There's a funny kind of like tie-in. We were talking just a minute ago about the Decalogue.
Oh yeah.
Just reminded me a little bit of Bergman, like with the scenes from a marriage,
Scenes
like
from
the
Marriage.
original scenes from a marriage.
Yes, which
Very similar way, but
Leo,
just how
your brother recommended to me, and I watched the full miniseries version again, which is another like.
It would be very funny to like bring the family around. It's like, hey,
like
gang.
I know TV is different, and TV is different in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and it's also different in different countries. And I know CBC is like aired some good stuff like that. But imagine you're just like
just on
the new Bergman TV episode.
What was that film like from a couple episodes back that you guys were talking about? Like, I just threw it on.
Oh
people
yeah,
talking about it on
whatever.
Twitter,
Berlin
whatever.
Alexanderplatz.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like after The Good Doctor, let's sit down and watch scenes from
Just get real sad.
Autism. It should have been called that, right? Like how the black phone should have been called Ghost Phone. Talk to Me should have been called Ghost Hand.
Yeah.
It should be like up front, like Dr. Autism. I was like, I know what that's about.
Right.
For years, I would see the poster for The Good Doctor, and I was like, oh, I guess he's like just a young doctor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I guess it's like Doogie Howser or whatever.
Why am I going to watch that? I don't know what the
Who
catch
cares?
is.
I don't know what the whole gimmick is. He's young. He's like, who cares? And then you see a clip from the show, like, and I think that's why that went so viral. Is that people had just like were ambiently aware of that show for years, and then you see a clip and you're like, oh, this is the craziest show ever made.
You mean the I Am a Surgeon?
Oh, whatever clip. Yeah, well, that one especially.
That one got meme tall heck.
Oh, completely. Yeah. Well, because like the guy that really
good.
like that, there's that other doctor who's got like really cut face. Like he's just such.
Yeah, the Dr. Hand.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
remember
just
what
like
the
the
actor's name is,
handsomest
but-
dude alive or something.
You're
Very
not
good,
a doctor.
kind
I am a doctor. Like, listen, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Marriage Story? I saw that TIFF when it came out with Mary Jane, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Shout-outs to Mary Jane again.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then no more shout-outs.
Yeah. You're done.
Yeah.
You're cut off.
Until we get into the Hunger Games, and then we will thank you again for making us watch these great movies.
Although I have been playing Spider-Man 2, and
Right,
shout-outs to the Mary Jane levels in that game,
Yep.
because they're not as boring as the previous game.
Yes, in the previous game they are very boring. I remember that. She doesn't have spider powers, you see. So
Right,
when you
yeah,
play
so
as Mary
it's
Jane,
kind of-
you walk around.
Yeah.
The game kind of grinds to a halt.
Yeah.
But also that's the trend with these like Sony PlayStation games is like it's fun, and then they like make you walk slowly and like get exposition tossed at you for like 15 minutes, and you're like, oh man, this is a masterpiece. But anyway, Marriage Story was good. A lot of good marriage content are floating around, in the ether.
Yeah, people get married and then they get divorced, and people are like, "That's dramatic."
It's pretty affecting.
Should make a movie about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Actually, I also watched Barbie. I watched a lot of movies this past week.
Nice. The Baumbach connection.
Exactly. Marriage Story was my preferred Baumbach. I'm sorry.
I think it's a better movie, and for some reason, this kind of annoys me. Like on film Twitter or whatever, even in like whatever other like more official critical circles, like there'll be a movie that becomes representative of a certain thing that people don't like, like whatever it is, and Marriage Story sort of became that. I think because it's like whatever a movie that a certain like film critic, liberal kind of intelligentsia kind of class like thought was really great, and so people started to kind of reject it. But I think it's a really good movie. I don't know, it kind of bothers me that it's become this like whatever. It
was one of those movies that I found like really artfully done and affecting, but also not boring in the slightest. It's a very engaging watch.
Did you like the part where he sings?
Yes.
Can I do it?
Yes, I did, and I think you should.
Somebody hold me too close. Somebody hurt me too deep. Somebody sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive. Being alive. Being alive. Thank you. Not bad.
Was that song made for that movie?
No, you dumb shit.
What's it from?
It's a Stephen Sondheim song, you skank.
I prefer Andrew Lloyd Webber. I'm a Webber boy.
No!
No.
That's a disgusting thing to say. That's not even funny as a joke, Alex.
No, listen, we all know I hate musicals and they could all burn in hell.
Yeah, but okay, but
I thought Benham was really wonderful in Les Miserables.
thank you. Yeah. I originated the role of Javert.
Oh.
No, Maxim played Javert in our high school production.
Did he actually?
Yeah.
I don't know that. That's great.
Yeah, he was good too. Yeah, he was good. I think Maxim.
He only knew a straight line until he met you.
Yeah. I think it was the best of his high school musical performances. The other ones we did were Gilbert and Sullivan, which are fine but are silly. No. And Javert, you really felt it. Like when he jumped off the bridge, I was like, damn. It's like losing a friend.
Wait a minute, Sondheim did West Side Story, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I retract what I said about Sondheim.
There you go.
West Side Story rocks.
Didn't Sondheim die like just a couple of, was that a few months ago? Or
not long ago. That's true. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
R.I.P.
I think I had seen a version of Company. I had maybe actually seen Maxim's version. Maxim was in Company as well. He didn't play Robert, but he was one of the characters in Company at Trent. And I believe I had seen his production of it, but I wasn't super familiar with it. But I did know that song. That's one of his famous songs from
Company.
Company.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone you have to let in. Someone whose feelings you spare. So wait. Like it or not, we'll want you to share a little, a lot, something else had. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I'm trying to work on it. I'm working on it. I really like this song. I listened to it in the shower the other day, and I cried. It's a good song.
I will say I really enjoyed the way Greta...
Someone to crowd you with love. Someone to force you to care. Someone to make you come through. Who will always be there, as frightened as you of being alive. Being alive.
Fuck's sake.
Being alive. Sorry, you were saying?
I think Greta did a great job handling the musical sequences in Barbie.
Yeah, those are the best parts.
They're the best parts.
Yeah.
And I think she should do a musical. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I agree. I think Barbie should have been fully more a musical.
Yeah, that might have elevated it, I think.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to sing a little bit. I've been working on it.
It's actually
it's
not
kind of a
bad.
hard song to sing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I won't sing anymore. I promise. I promise. I actually promise. I'm done.
You're going to bust into that Coldplay song that plays at the end of Catching Fire.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
God.
this song is good.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a good end.
Which one is it, do you know?
I have no idea.
I think it was made for the movie.
Oh, wow. Okay, great.
Yeah, just like Being Alive was made for Marriage Story.
All right, relax.
Philistine. I genuinely, when I watched the movie, I genuinely did not know what song. Yeah. Recommendation on the Criterion Channel. Company. The Making of Company, a cast album, whatever it's called, original cast recording. That little like Maisels documentary about it. It's really, really good. What else is new? It's Will's birthday recently, so happy birthday to Will, and
thank you very much.
Please send a gift to Will through the mail.
Here's his address.
Yeah, here's his address. And just don't send him anything weird, please. Don't be a weirdo.
I heard Will's a really big fan of pipe bombs.
Oh, giant. Well, stuff with nails usually is the best way to go. I mean, gotta. There's a variety of things. I'm a little bit of a connoisseur with some of these things.
Kind of like an anarchist cookbook style guy.
Absolutely. Recipe or two.
Yeah, our goal on the show when you're a guest is to try to get you on a list somewhere.
Right, yeah.
Or a couple lists, yeah.
Another one.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, too.
Kind of Red Army faction with a little bag on the bike kind of thing. That's in my top 3, for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Heard it here first, fuck Deutsche Bank.
So I just want to say to the CSIS agent that is been tasked with listening to every minute of the show.
He's parked outside right now.
Yeah, to analyze the various threats we make to people and jokes we make about property damage and revolution. I will send you Will's address in Morse code. Can you hear that? I don't really know how to do Morse code, but I think I got it through. Anyway, I met the CSIS agent who listens to us recently.
Are they a nice guy?
It's a nice lady, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's cool. She's very nice. Friend of the pod, yeah.
Her address is...
Yeah. Well, out of all the people who've listened to every episode, she's the only one who had to do it for a job. But she said she liked it. Well,
I don't want to say if you're listening because we know you are, but come on the pod.
Yeah. I don't know what her name is. She wouldn't tell me. She probably has a code name. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's been a terrible month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The world is a terrible place. That's good content, right?
And getting worse all the time.
Yeah, it seems like it's getting worse. Yeah, everything seems like it's getting worse. That's true, isn't it? That's true.
Mm-hmm. Dark days ahead, my friend.
Yeah. Fuck. Eh. Well. On that note, I guess maybe we should talk about the Hunger Games movies. That's what we're here to do. And we have to get two of them together into one episode. Hunger Games from 2012 and The Hunger Games Catching Fire from 2013.
Wow, again, the next year. Churned it out.
Yep. Popping them out. Will, what's your sort of relationship with these movies?
I know who Suzanne Collins is.
Okay.
And there's some archery in it, I think. And
Sorry,
I don't know anything about these movies.
What do you mean?
Haven't seen them.
You haven't seen them?
Haven't seen the movies. Yeah, like for real this time. Not even in a Ninja Turtles. I forgot about the Raphael thing kind of way. Like
you haven't.
Like
seen
I haven't seen these movies. I haven't read the books. No. Total.
This is kind of awkward.
Yeah. Will, I'm sorry, I don't really know how to. I guess I don't really understand. So you haven't seen these movies?
Is it because you hate women?
Is it because you hate young adults?
Is it because you hate dystopia?
Is it because you hate, reading? Well, obviously that's not true. So it must be something else. Will, what the fuck, man? Like when I asked you to come on, you said you'd seen them. Did I make that up?
Did you lie to Ben?
Did I make that up?
Did you?
Sorry, was that not true?
I've lost a translation or something. I don't know.
Sorry, okay, hang on. I'm not going to check messages right now, but I'm pretty sure when I said, "Oh, do you want to come on to the Hunger Games episode?" that you'd seen the fucking movie, right? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, am I being an asshole right now?
No, like we don't ask for much on the show. Like that's the one stupid fucking prerequisite we ask our.
Yeah, that's pretty much the bare minimum. I don't know if I'm kind of crossing a line or something, but like I think you owe us an apology for not having seen the movies.
They're on Netflix, dude.
Yeah, it's not hard to find. Do you know how many people are seeding these torrents? You know what I mean? It's not hard to find. Okay. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
I want to offer my most sincere apologies, not just to Alex and Ben, but to the listeners.
Okay.
Feel as though I've failed in my responsibilities as a fact checker on the show, as a friend of the pod.
Well, maybe
I've been a bad friend of the pod.
Yeah, maybe you have.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well, okay. Apology accepted, but please, don't be offended by this. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. I mean, right now, genuinely.
No, like I'm.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
You have to leave.
The door is
All right.
behind you.
Yeah.
Thank
Don't
you.
let it hit you on your way out. Okay.
Yeah, but also do.
Yeah. Now, Will, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Unbelievable. Can you believe that?
It's.
This is the first time this has happened in franchisee show history.
Well, that's true, at least.
Yeah, well, that's definitely true. I can't remember kicking anybody out. Will, I'm sorry, but...
Get the fuck out and happy birthday.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Pathetic, but happy birthday.
Yeah, not in my year of podcasting have I seen something so disgraceful.
And
Unfucking believable. Get out now. Get the fuck out of here.
Good to see you as always, but fuck you.
Yeah, happy birthday. Get fucked, Will. Get stuffed, you fucking piece of shit, bitch, motherfucker. I swear to God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm so fucking riled up now. God.
Do you want to...
Well, that's just fucking embarrassing. It makes us look like idiots. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, so we had to delay the podcast by a week. Okay,
Yeah.
It was late. Okay,
And
people are angry.
The first guest back.
Yeah.
It's an absolute new jack.
Flop. Huge flop. Thanks, Will. Your new name, Flop. Your new nickname is Floppy.
Yeah.
Flippy Floppy. Thanks a lot. God, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, did I... fuck. All right, what are we doing?
That's a big fact that didn't get checked.
Yeah, I would say so. Okay, Hunger Games. Fuck. God damn it, I'm still mad. How are we just gonna continue on with the episode? I'm all jacked up.
Well, that's good.
I guess so.
Channel it into a hot take.
Yeah, what hot take?
Not one, but 2 movies.
That's right. Time is of the essence. We must carry on.
Yes.
Okay.
Hunger Games 1.
Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, 2012.
Yeah. Can I actually read the plot description
really
quickly?
Do it.
Okay,
yeah.
1 second. The Hunger Games. The film follows a group of junior high school students forced to fight to the death by the Japanese totalitarian government.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Hey, wait a minute. That ain't right.
That's Battle Royale, the 2000 Japanese film based on the controversial 1999 novel by Koshun Takami.
Yeah.
Eerily similar.
Very strange. So that came out first, you're saying?
I'll let you know in a second.
No, it did. I know it did. We know it did. And then Suzanne Collins came up with this brilliant idea. all by
independently, completely independently.
Interesting.
You know, these things happen sometimes. It's the way...
It's not exactly the same thing either, right?
No.
And first and foremost, the biggest distinction for me, I have seen... My brother read Battle Royale, the novel. I don't think I ever did. But I have seen the first movie. And the difference, I think... Well, it's huge. One of them is a piece of young adult sci-fi fiction.
Yeah.
And the other one, I feel has some more things to say. You know what I mean? I think... Battle Royale, works very well as a satire in a way that I don't think the Hunger Games really does.
No,
the Hunger Games is not a satirical.
It's not really satirical.
No. Yeah.
But full transparency, I don't think either of us have read The Hunger Games.
I have read the book.
Oh, you've read the first book?
I read the first book when it came out because I was curious. It was just huge, and I think I read it.
It was
before the movie, just because it was it's very short. It's a kid's book.
Yeah. It was a phenomenon.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And
I guess we were in our early 20s, right, when this phenomenon was happening.
Yeah.
So we weren't the target audience, but it was everywhere.
But it definitely caught on with people in their 20s. Katie is a big fan of the Hunger Games, and she extends a thank you to us and to Mary Jane for getting this silly doing this franchise, finally doing something on the thumbnail.
Finally, the first official thumbnail franchise.
Katniss Everdeen. But
cat piss, right?
Yeah.
Every time her hunky boy called her catnip, it's come on, cat piss is right there. That's Mad Magazine style.
Cat piss never seen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you tell him.
But yeah, it did catch on with older people too, who I guess are just inclined to YA dystopian novels.
Yeah, there's something of a phenomenon with the YA sci-fi surge or whatever of the late 2000s, early 2010s, with Twilight and this and the Maze Runner and Divergent, Neurodivergent, Insurgent, whatever those movies. Fuck, we have to do those.
Convergent.
The Maze Runner too is is that not pretty much the same thing as this?
I don't know. So I don't have much experience with any of these.
No, because we're adults, and that's what I want to get at is that kids read these books, and then a certain type of adult, who reads, which is good, which is better than most adults, and better than me. I don't read nearly as much as I should. Will would have been good with reading. He can read. He can actually read.
He's actually gone.
He actually is good. Just so you know, he did actually leave. Yeah, we kicked him out. We couldn't stand by that. I don't care if it's his fucking birthday.
We do, believe in accountability and punishment on this show. So.
Yeah, you're not going to hear him laughing it up. He is genuinely gone. We did make him leave, which I think is pretty funny. I just want you to appreciate how we followed through on this bit, right? Okay, so the people who read these books are
women.
Children, and also certain types of adults that are really into reading, but read almost exclusively for like younger kids' novels,
Yeah.
which I don't think is bad,
No.
but it is a little strange, like to see. I think it definitely molds these people's like opinions about what works and doesn't work in fiction and what the rules like certain fiction should follow. And it's like, well, yeah, like of course you would think that because all you read are books for like children. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever. That's not what we're here to talk about.
No.
We're here to talk about these movies,
But
which
these
are made for
movies-
everybody.
They are made for everybody. But I do think The Hunger Games, in terms of YA sci-fi, it was kind of the big boom. Like I think Hunger Games is
Sure.
bigger than Maze Runner, Divergent,
Oh,
all
yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to fantasy, I imagine like Twilight kind of has the upper hand there.
Yeah, and those movies, like these were big movies, and they
Yes.
made a lot of money.
Yes.
And were very popular. But I still think that the Twilight movies the Twilight movies came before, not before all of the movies, but they started earlier in like 2008. But the Twilight movies have I think a stronger like fandom and also a stronger ironic appreciation value. That these movies don't in the same way. Like the Review will host screenings of the different Twilight movies, and they're always sold out, and everybody gets drunk and has a good time, right?
Yeah. That wouldn't necessarily happen with The Hunger Games.
I don't think so.
I don't think you can like.
They're not, like,
there's not much to
funny.
ironically appreciate about these movies.
No, there's a couple of funny things here and there, but they're not
Yes.
they're not like fun movies.
No.
Which is good. They shouldn't be because they're about children
Given the
murdering
subject
each other.
matter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or at least in the case of the first movie. In the second movie, it's like mostly adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly age matured people.
Yeah.
There was something funny. I watched it with Katie, and I riled her up a bit by saying, made a joke that what I liked about these movies is that the Capitol are portrayed as kind of androgynous, queer people, like pitting heterosexual like couples. And I said it as a joke just to kind of piss her off. But then we were watching it and we were like, oh my God.
I mean, a little
That
bit.
is kind of what's happening.
Yeah,
And then
it's funny.
she made a really funny quip, credit where credit's due, where she was saying like, this is what like cis het America fears the gay agenda is.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the gay agenda is like pitting hetero couples like to the death.
Well said.
It's a shame
Katie.
she couldn't come on, but she wants to come on for one of these at some point.
Yeah,
maybe,
we'll
but
get Katie on.
She has some interesting perspectives on YA and stuff in general.
Well, we should all try to go see the new one together.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But we were having like a good laugh because once we started watching with that lens, it was quite funny.
That is very funny, and
Yeah.
I was thinking a little bit about that, about how in the first one, I think the second one is just a broader scope in general, like how a lot of sequels we're finding turn out to be.
Yeah.
In the first one, though, you do get a couple glimpses of like Pan Am and the Capitol and like all the denizens and whatever. And yeah, there's a certain kind of androgynous, but also I guess very like flamboyant, like
Yes.
over the top style to all of them, and then all of the poor people in the districts are
Working class, blue collar.
like mining town. And actually, the funniest part of the funniest part of the first movie is that kind of opening montage where she's running around, and it's like, there's a working class town, like we are here in the mines. Oh, my poor back,
Yeah.
all that sort of montage.
Truly.
It doesn't really look sci-fi or dystopian at all. It just looks like a village in England somewhere.
Yeah, or like Winter's Bone.
Yeah,
another
exactly.
J-Law movie. Mm-hmm. But I get, the point is the people in the Capitol, they're dressed so like ornately and elaborately and stuff like that, and it's meant to be because they're living well, like they're the aristocracy and stuff like that. But there is like a queer tint to it. Watching it now, you're like, oh, they're fabulous. And they're the villains. Like they're
like very much so. And I think when Katniss gets selected and goes through the whole kind of ritual of
the reaping,
and
which is shot like kind of like documentary handheld. It's like very like.
Okay, so let's get into this first one. It's directed by Gary Ross, who's had a very interesting kind of career. He wrote like Big and Dave.
Wait, which one was Dave?
Dave is like, I actually haven't seen it.
Someone runs for president.
Yeah, it's an Ivan Reitman like president movie where like it's like a guy who looks a lot like the president.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
Has to fill in for him or something.
Yeah, yeah, and then Big, of course, we know what Big is about.
Yeah,
we know what
cock.
we know what it's about.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
We know what
sorry,
Big
everyone.
is about. Yeah, it is a movie about Alex's penis.
Yeah, playing a giant piano in a toy store.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Well, that script was nominated for an Oscar, as was Dave. So this guy was like, this guy was a big deal.
I think I watched Dave on the Superstation. That was a very Superstation core movie.
I would have loved to have watched it on the Superstation, but I haven't seen it, and I will rectify this mistake.
Yeah.
But then in 1998, he wrote and directed Pleasantville, which was kind of his big, whatever movie, and a movie I saw when I was much younger and thought was like amazing because it's like a movie that like you would think is cool when you were a kid. I'm sure is like total hack shit now. I don't know. It's probably really stupid.
I mean, like valid themes, but done in the broadest strokes possible.
Yeah, yeah. And it's somewhat similarly, 2003, he made Seabiscuit, which just feels like very like Oscar bait movie.
Yeah.
Not a movie I've seen. I do remember a line from the trailer though. And I think they're, I don't remember if they're talking about the horse or if they're talking about Tobey Maguire, the jockey. But I think it's Chris Cooper who says, he's blind in one eye.
He's the horse.
Yeah, I don't remember the movie at all, but I remember him saying that.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. I miss Chris Cooper.
He's around. He's
Yeah?
around. We'll get him on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see here. Hunger Games, Free State of Jones, the Matthew McConaughey like slave rebellion movie.
Never saw it. I remember it now. I remember seeing it.
And Ocean's 8.
The best one.
Yeah, that's from 2018. That's like a whole lifetime ago.
5 years. Going
Ocean's
on
8.
6.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that feels like it just came out.
It's
I
held up really
have
well.
not seen it. Yeah. Did you see it? No.
No,
We're gonna have to do it eventually. Anyway, so yeah, seems like kind of a bit of a hack. I don't know. He's been nominated for 4 Oscars, but what I'm trying to say is, I don't like the style of this movie. The first chunk of it, where it's shot in that documentary handheld kind of shaky cam thing, it feels to me, as a lot of the times that kind of filmmaking can feel, it feels imprecise.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And for an example of like a precise filmmaker working with the same kind of aesthetics, I would say you could look at like Paul Greengrass, for example. That's like an easy go-to example, but like the Bourne movies and United 93 and Laugh Riot, things like that. Shaky cam does not equal imprecision necessarily, but in the case of this movie, it feels like there's no sense of like framing or like thoughtful composition until it actually has to be when they kind of get to the games, because when you're filming the games, like there's still some of that, but
they tried a bit harder.
They try to be they just kind of, it's just when you're shooting action, like I feel like they kind of had to be a little bit more thoughtful
you
about
have to plan it out a bit more.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
there are parts of it that feel good. Like we can get to.
For sure. I think generally with both of these movies, kind of my biggest gripe with them is that I don't like a lot of the how it was made choices. But there are elements of the story and ideas there that I do really like.
Yeah, kids murdering kids.
That's a big one.
It's kind of cool.
So in the first one, I completely agree with you with the shaky cam thing. And then also, I think some of the production design is kind of uninspired, when they get to the Capitol and it's like, okay, it's a dystopian totalitarian society and it's fashioned after like ancient Roman and Nazi architecture symbolism type thing. You know, it's like we've seen it, or maybe, it's just not that interesting.
Yeah.
But again, interesting ideas, but then what you're actually seeing and consuming on the screen sometimes is just lacking in some ways. And I have specific examples for the second one as well, but I'll wait till we get to that one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so let me think here. I don't think we need to necessarily like run through the plot bit by bit.
Nah, they're big movies.
They're
People
big
know
movies,
them.
yeah.
First, there's a totalitarian government that, for some reason, to show the districts.
and the key word here is for some reason, and I'm sure eventually we'll get to it. But as far as I know, they just decided to do it.
I get it's like to instill fear in the population
Yeah,
and the districts, but I'm like, this is a weird way to do it. Like, I don't buy it. I don't really buy the concept at its core.
Like the idea of like the idea of making gladiatorial games, but to instill fear instead of
distraction.
Yeah, instead of a distraction.
But there's an element of that too.
There is an element of that, but you don't get the sense that like the ancient Romans with their like bread and circuses kind of idea that like, you would enjoy these games and it would be like a respite from your like difficult life.
Yeah.
And it would probably instill a little bit of fear, but you'd be like, oh, well, at least I'm not down there in the pit.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't really get that sense with the audience. Like in the districts, they're watching these games in horror.
Everyone's miserable.
Miserable. Yeah. You never see a smile on any of these coal miners' faces.
And the people who are...
So sorry. Will, I just killed Will's microphone.
And it's still plugged in. Yeah, it's good. It's fine.
Fine.
It just made a funny noise.
Okay, sorry.
But the people who do enjoy it are the people like in the Capitol, right? Like they're betting on it and they're sending boons to the people that they like and they're rooting for.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's like the people who are getting a kick out of this are still just like the villains, and everyone in the poor districts, the working class blue collar districts, not those metropolitan cosmopolitan city folk. They're like,
those city queers.
Kind of.
There's a bit of that to it. It's funny. It's very funny.
Yeah, so it just doesn't line up perfectly for me.
No. But anyway, they're picking a boy, they're picking a girl. Each district, they pick Katniss Everdeen's young sister, Primrose, Prim. And Katniss is obviously like, no, I'm not going to do that. She volunteers as tribute. The boy is Peeta.
Peeta Millard.
Peeta
One
Millard.
of the best names.
We love him.
Josh Hutcherson. We got to go see Five Nights at Freddy's.
I know. He's. I'm glad he's still out there doing great work.
Hutching it up.
Hutching it up, yeah. Now I'm sure. Now this is the Mary Jane angle. We'll get. I'm sure, but there's a bit of a love triangle that's developing here, and there's a lot of I think hunky boys in this YA series, which is female led. Female. It sounds stupid. you know what I mean.
Yes.
It's Jennifer Lawrence is the lead in this movie. It's her franchise. And the boys are all like surrounding her orbit or whatever, right? Yeah. And I'm curious to see MJ's thoughts on on that sort of aspect of it.
Katie's a big fan of this whole like polyamory thing going on too.
Yeah, I know. I bet she is.
Yeah. But because especially in the second one, she is more like in love with both Peeta and this guy.
Oh
Gale.
yeah, she's playing them both like that whore in the Saw trap in Saw 7.
Yeah, and it's Peeta and Gale on either end of the saw deciding like, hey, let's saw her in half. Let's saw Jennifer Lawrence in half. And I think is it like Peeta who gives her like a little like pendant and it has a photo of Gale in it or something. Someone does. But
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But she's entertaining like both these people at the same time, and they're all kind of cool with it.
Yeah, there's some shots here and there of them, whatever. Yeah. Like so anyway, she when she gets in the games, they meet all these weird people. They have Effie Trinket or whatever her name is, who's the. We're just going to do a quick cast thing because the cast is good in these movies, I think. Yeah. And even more so in the second one. Holy shit! Okay, so Elizabeth Banks as Effie Trinket. Whatever. It's she's the first like weirdo we see.
Yes.
And she is a very like malicious figure at first, a little bit less so in the second one. But she's there to do the reaping and whatever. And then we have Haymitch, Hamish Abernathy, Woody Harrelson's character, who's a guy who won the games from their district before and is now like, you know,
their
a
mentor.
drunk. And he's their mentor, but he's obviously like a tortured man, you know. And then you have Lenny Kravitz as Cinna, who is, I guess, like the stylist, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think, because Hamish is also sort of like
They get like a team. They get a PR team.
Yeah, they get a whole PR team, exactly. Yeah, but Lenny Kravitz is so funny in these movies. Yeah. Like he doesn't act in this is really his like, I think, wait, what else is he in? He's not in very many movies, but he is in these. And I really like him in these movies. And I think like his character Cinna, right? They should have just called him Lenny Kravitz, like as himself. Because it's basically just like a nice, like, it's kind of like a gay best friend you get to give you a soft kiss on the forehead and to tell you that you look beautiful and send you out into the games, right?
Yeah, who helps you like pick a killer outfit or something. You know, like
and then Hamish is kind of like more like the shaggy straight best friend who's like, you know, shooting the shit with you. And
but who does ultimately help you get through a hard time.
It's true. But he's a little rough around the edges.
Sure
and like,
is.
you know, Cinna is a little bit more like, he's like a softie and he's nice to you from the beginning.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is genuinely very thoughtful. I actually like when in both of the scenes in this movie where he's like comforting Jennifer Lawrence, I had the thought cross my mind where I was like, I wish I had somebody like that. You know, I wish you had a Lenny. I wish Lenny Kravitz would give me a hug and a soft kiss on my forehead and say, "You're doing great." Just be yourself. Like his lines are so funny too because he's just like, go out there and show them like you're a beautiful flower, like just like bloom for them. You know, like you're like we all know you're so beautiful. Well, I don't know, whatever. It's just very just very soft and supportive, and it's very cute. Anyway, he won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for the second one for this. Yeah. Speaking of that, we have Stanley Tucci. The Tooch is back. This is the first franchise with all of these people, I think, right? And we've never covered Tucci before.
Not Tucci and not Toby Jones, I don't think.
Toby Jones as well.
And kind of Tucci's right-hand man.
Yeah, a bit of a lesser role.
Yeah,
he doesn't have much to do, but... Yeah, so Stanley Tucci, Caesar Flickerman is the kind of terrifying, huge coif hair and like really, really big, bright white kind of teeth that are very upsetting. And he's giving a really big performance, as the
I do love all these capital characters. What I really appreciate about them was their hunger names.
Yes, their hunger names, you say.
I figured out a formula to create a hunger name.
Okay.
At least for the capital people. Not for the blue-collar folks.
Okay, tell me.
But what you do is you take like an ancient Greco-Roman name or a Shakespearean first name.
Okay.
And then you pair it with like the name that sounds like it would be someone from like the American Revolution era or something.
Oh, okay. Well, give me some examples here.
Yeah, so indulge me for a second.
Do I have a choice?
How do you feel about Sophocles Burnaby?
Sure.
Could you picture them as a character in the movie?
Yeah, of course.
Aristotle Washington.
Yep.
Hamlet Jefferson. I think my favorite is possibly Andronicus Feathersby.
Okay, right. Yeah. That's our... Wait, isn't there a Feathersby name?
Is there?
No, Heavensby.
Heavensby, yeah.
That's in the next
Plutarch.
Movie. We'll get there.
Plutarch, a Greek philosopher.
Right. Well, and of course the last person. Well, two last people we can talk around at the cast. Donald Sutherland is President Coriolanus Snow.
Exactly.
Coriolanus Snow.
Kind of.
Yeah. And then Wes Bentley as Seneca Crane, who is the head games maker with a huge beard. Yeah, it's crazy. Future beard.
Coriolanus being a Shakespeare play about a Greek general, and Seneca being a Greek philosopher.
There you go.
So
do you have a hunger name for yourself?
What do you think of Caligula Franklin?
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Or Banquo Burr?
I like all of those.
Polonius Roosevelt.
I'm going to call you... No, wait, what was the first one again?
I like Andronicus Feathersby, but there's also Sophocles Burnaby, Aristotle Washington.
You get to pick whichever one you want.
I'll be Aristotle Washington.
Aristotle Washington. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so from now on, we're going to call you that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want a hunger name?
Yeah, I've got one. Let me think. I'm just going to look up... What's a good last name? What's a good last name we haven't used yet? Because I think I have a first name.
What about Hamilton?
Hamilton, I don't know. It's too tied into the whole Lin-Manuel Miranda thing, you know. What about Franklin is okay.
You can take Franklin.
I can take Franklin, but is there something better? Stevens? No. Okay, what about Stevens? Like Thaddeus Stevens. Fitzwilliams, okay. And for the first name, now, I don't know if Shakespeare invented this word, but I'm pretty sure he did. What about smegma? What about that? I'm pretty sure that's a Shakespearean word. I think smegma comes up in
Macbeth.
Henry, yeah.
I can't get the smegma off my hands.
Yeah. Out, damn smegma spot. So I'll be Smegma Fitzsimmons.
That's good.
Yeah, okay, good.
That's good. It's actually a shame we kicked out Will, because he could have told us if that was a Shakespearean word.
Well, with Will not being here, we'll just say, yes, it is. 100% verified. Smegma.
Smegma Fitzsimmons.
Or what was Smegma Franklin? That's better.
Smegma Franklin?
Yeah, like Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
Smegma Franklin. Okay. And you're Aristotle.
Aristotle Washington.
Aristotle
Smegma Franklin.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Great.
Let's do it.
So those are our Hunger names for the rest of the Hunger Games series.
If you have a good one, email us at franchiseespod@gmail.com.
Yes.
Or X us on X.
Yes.
At the franchisees.
Yeah. You can X us on X at the franchisees. That's true. That's something you can do.
That's a sound.
Oh,
sentence.
man. Oh, did you hear Darren Aronofsky is making an Elon Musk movie?
Sick.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
And I mean, this is not a new observation. In the several hours this news has been out, everyone has said this exact same thing. This has the potential to be the worst movie ever made. Genuinely one of the worst movies ever
Obviously, they don't know who's playing Elon Musk.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
They should get Elon Musk.
When Will and I were at BMV earlier, I saw a DVD of The Whale. And I was like, weird. Like, first off, it's weird to see a DVD of a new release movie. Like, you see the Blu-ray, you're like, okay. You see the DVD, you're like, what's that kicking around?
Yeah.
You know?
How did this happen?
Of The Whale. I know. It's great. I took a picture of it. I was like, I'm never going to see this
real?
again. Yeah.
You should have bought it.
No.
Also, I think it's funny that you took Will to BMV.
Will took me to BMV.
Okay.
I went to BMV first, and then I left and met Will. I said, Will, let me take you to a local coffee shop. It's really good. We went to the Tim Hortons on the corner, and it was a nightmare. Like, that Tim Hortons, is busy, and it's not a place of peace. It's an intense place. It's small, and it's loud. And there was this woman in the washroom there who was screaming at somebody to like not let her to not let her out. And it turns out it was her son that was this very strange, menacing little boy, kind of like a Stephen King bully kind of vibe, like, dark circles under his eyes, like he hasn't slept for a long time, and had a marker, like a permanent marker, and was writing on the walls of the Tim Hortons.
Holy shit.
Like kind of like red rum, stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really like kind of, and he was looking at us like, and he was with one arm he was writing, and the other one he was holding the door handle so his mom couldn't get out of the washroom.
Jesus Christ.
This poor Tim Hortons employee was like, hey, like, you can't, like, would you please stop writing on the wall, or would you please let your mom out of the washroom? And he was just like, yeah, like a little demon, like,
Yeah.
And she was just like, let me out. It was awful. It was like, welcome to Toronto, Will.
Kind of an amazing scene, though. Mm-hmm. That boy sounds like he would fuck around with the lament configuration and become the chatterer.
Yeah, he would. He is the boy that became the chatterer. Yeah, for sure. He let her out, and they left. And when they left, she gave me this dirty look, like I was the one holding the door. And I was like, as she was leaving, I was like, just so you know, like, I was not holding the door to like not let you out. It was your weird son.
Your son is the chatterer.
Yeah. And we went up and we looked at the message that he had written, and it said, I'm aunt, you bitch.
That rocks.
They were just kind of like a roly-poly Ontario family,
Oh, yeah.
I just love it. Yeah. And I'm roly-poly too, so it's great.
That's an amazing scene.
Yeah. Just the way he was looking at us. I was like, oh, like there's like this kid is a little demon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little devil kid.
If you got that on film, that could have gone viral.
Yeah. See, now if it weren't I don't think you should film people in public in general.
Especially children.
But especially children. Yeah. Even if they are little demon children.
Even if they deserve
you know what it reminded me of? Those little hockey demons in
Oh my God.
Dogma.
Oh.
He looks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked exactly like one of them, but like roly and poly.
Like the demon hockey players.
Yeah, when they have got the big kind of demon look. Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
You're making me want to rewatch Dogma.
Yeah, great movie.
You're making me want to rewatch Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, great movie. Clerks 1, Clerks 2, Clerks 3.
Oh, where were we? In the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Cinna gives her a kiss on the
guy.
forehead and says, I love you. You're the most beautiful woman in the world. Why wouldn't he say that to me?
Poor Peeta.
Poor Peeta.
But not actually poor Peeta. Peeta's really good at like playing with people's heartstrings and shit. And
yeah, he's really good at playing the game.
so him and Katniss kind of have beef because it's never explicitly stated, but Peeta threw out some bread instead of giving it to Katniss or something when it was raining one day.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Who cares?
So they have static between each other, right?
Yeah, and he has a big crush on her.
He does.
Yeah.
Or he plays it up for sure.
And he plays it up, but he does have a crush, yeah.
But,
Because she's Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. She
Jennifer Lawrence sidebar. Jennifer Lawrence is one of the most beautiful actors like in recent memory, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe this is just my own personal thing.
So is Josh Hutcherson.
No, he's not on the same level. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
He's not on the same level. No one else in this movie is on the same level that Jennifer Lawrence is at. No one is.
I heard some juicy goss.
Yeah.
Speaking of non-consensual non-monogamy. Liam Hemsworth, who plays Gale,
he's pretty hunky, actually. Isn't
cheated on Miley Cyrus with Jennifer Lawrence while they were filming this.
Wow.
So Miley Cyrus apparently held a grudge for like 10 years or whatever.
Wow.
And in the recent music video she dropped, she's wearing like a dress that's reminiscent of a dress like Jennifer Lawrence once wore.
Okay.
And I have no factual basis for this. I was just told this as like a fact, and even the person wasn't sure.
Interesting.
But like, isn't that juicy?
That is juicy. Well, I mean, how could you not have an affair with one of the most beautiful Hollywood actors,
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah. It's not that he's not good looking. It's just that, like, you know, Chris is a huge step up, in my opinion.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, damn. So, I mean, and I believe also this is part of what draws a lot of people to this franchise is that there's a bunch of hotties in it. Yeah. There's a bunch of hotties.
Stanley
Tucci, yeah, of course. Toby Jones, right? Of course. Donald Sutherland, you know. Yeah. He was, you know, spreading chlamydia back in the 70s.
I remember that scene from Don't Look Now.
We all do. You're talking about the scene where he's falling off of the scaffolding, right?
I'm talking about the scene he gets his throat
like a dwarf
in a red raincoat.
That is one of my favorite movies ever. Nice. I love that movie so much. That ending, like when you first see it, you're like, that's kind of stupid. What the fuck? Yeah. And that ending is one of the funniest endings to any movie ever.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh all the time just thinking about it.
It's
the way that the little evil dwarf's like shaking her head like like as if she can understands what's going through his mind.
Yeah.
Right? That he's like, oh, this is my daughter. It's been this random like serial killing dwarf the whole time, and the dwarf is nodding like, yes, that's right. Like
that movie, I watched it and it ended, and I was just kind of like, that was that movie.
So
like, you know?
Good. It's so good.
Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about it. That movie's a trip for sure.
Oh, it's genuinely really terrifying too. I think like a lot of the time.
It's so bizarre.
I love it. Oh, it's so funny.
Nicholas Rogue, though.
I know. Great guy. Yeah. We should have him on the pod. Oh, he's dead. Fuck.
Yeah.
Selfish. Wouldn't even stay alive long enough to be on the beloved Franchisees podcast.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we probably would have kicked him out, too. Because he wouldn't have watched.
I doubt he would have watched these movies. Yeah. He was too busy making his other own good movies. Anyway. So yeah, there's all sorts of, you know, they do some training montage, they do some this and that, whatever goes on. Then we get to the Hunger Games. And this is where I think there's the one sort of stylistic touch I think that is well done in the first movie in regards to some of that shaky cam sort of vibe is the very beginning of the Hunger Games when it goes off and these are PG-13 movies. They're already probably pushing it a little far with the premise, which is quite grisly in and of itself. But we have that confusion and that rush of adrenaline, right as it's counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the sound drops out and we have everybody scrambling trying to get some supplies and people just immediately just axing people and killing people, and there's some actual some bloody violence in it as well that is shot in a very disorienting and kind of immediate way, which is I think pretty well done.
That the shaky cam helps like mask. So they kept their PG-13, but it is still quite like I remember seeing that movie in theaters when we were at Queens. Yeah, and actually like nodding off for most of it, but then they get lifted into the arena on these elevators and they come out, and then there's like the cornucopia in the middle that that has like supplies and weapons that they specialize in. That initial scene where they come up and then they run to it, and the people who do run to it end up engaging in, like a bloodbath. Yeah,
like hand-to-hand Mortal Kombat.
It's effective. Yeah. It's effective. And it's actually quite...
It's just kind of disturbing.
Grisling. It's kids killing each other, like brutally.
Yeah. Now, and again, as a point of comparison, it has nothing on like Battle Royale.
No, Battle Royale is a big boy movie.
Yeah, Battle Royale is a movie for adults, okay? And so, to compare them is somewhat unfair, but also it's the similar sort of premise. But come on now. Be for real. It's a movie for adults, and this is a movie for babies. But for a movie for babies, not bad.
Two people can come up with the same great idea independently. I mean, look at us and the franchise. Look at Greta Van Fleet and Led Zeppelin, okay?
Yeah,
completely doing their own thing.
Look at A Bug's Life and Ants. Now, see,
I think I prefer Ants.
Well, yeah, you know why? I got 2 words for you.
No, I don't want to hear them.
The Woodman. I was born one. Sorry, what does he say? Fuck. He's like, I was born one. I'm
the youngest of 5 million.
Yeah, thank you. I'm the youngest of 5 million. Yeah, I'm an ant.
2 words for you. Sly Stallone.
I know. It's and would you believe it or not, the only on-screen pairing of Sylvester Stallone and Woody Allen.
That's a crime.
That's a total shame, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. that Ants is fucked because they when they go to fight the termites,
the war scene is incredible.
It's disgusting. Ants is okay. You want to talk about the movie for babies, movie for adults? A Bug's Life is a movie for babies. True. They're going around and and you have the fat
Flick.
the fat caterpillar. He's like, oh, I'm so fat, I've ate too many leaves or whatever. Yeah. And Kevin Spacey is the sexual predator cricket. That actually is a little intimidating. The grasshopper, right? That's right. Yeah, that he is actually pretty scary in that.
I didn't realize it was Kevin Spacey.
It's Kevin Spacey, all right. But that's a movie for little babies. Movie for adults. Ants. Yeah, because and I mean genuinely, that war scene is disturbing. It's like Starship Troopers level, like bug warfare. It's really quite violent.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
Thank you. And then of course. The other reason why it's for adults is because it stars Woody Allen, and so much of the shtick revolves around understanding who Woody Allen is and having seen his movies in a way that I don't think most kids are like aware.
It was like B-movie. Like B-movie was just Seinfeld shtick, and then it becomes like a courtroom drama. It's really
making honey for the white man. that joke is like way out there.
Yeah,
that's a joke in a kids movie.
The Boss Baby has some questionable jokes like for adults too.
I told you, I've already told the Boss Baby story, right? I must have told it. I'm not going to tell it.
Get Jordan on the.
No, I can't. I can't now tell a story I may have told already on the show because Jordan will laugh at me.
Yeah, it's like we kind of have like Damocles' sword hanging over us.
It is kind of
being
like that.
Jordan calling us out for repeating bits.
Yeah, but also at the same time.
Hey, Paul Fart, have a jar of my red.
That's a classic bit, eh? What episode is that even in? Know. Paul Fart, have a jar of my red. That's going to be our first T-shirt.
Yeah,
That's going to be the
down.
first T-shirt. The next T-shirt will be the entire rant I had about killing my boss, but on a full full-length T-shirt like this. Yeah, and then the next one will be a scene-by-scene breakdown of why Ants is for adults and A Bug's Life is for little babies.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the baby movie Hunger Games. So yeah, pretty shocking. And then the rest of the movie, we see the games play out. It's in a giant simulation dome and not a particularly like creative environment. It's just like a forest, basically, right? But yeah, we're cutting between, whatever, it's Stanley Tucci doing some shtick, with the audience and commentating. And then we see Seneca Crane, Wes Bentley, of course. Speaking of Kevin Spacey, Wes Bentley, well known as the kid in American Beauty. The kid who can't stand how much beauty there is in the world, and he films plastic bags and all that, right?
Of course.
And then he's buying weed from Kevin Spacey, but then Chris Cooper, callback, is looking from across, and he thinks he sees, because Kevin Spacey's lying back doing his bench presses, and fucking, his name's Ian Somerhalder, isn't it? No, Wes Bentley. Sorry, I'm confusing two guys. They look the same. Wes Bentley, is like leaning forward, rolling a joint, and Chris Cooper's like, "My son's sucking that man's dick," and then he kills him. That's a terrible movie.
I got to rewatch.
We should do an American Beauty special. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bonus.
Yeah.
American Beauty.
American Beauty. I mean, I do really want to see it again. How amazing that movie must be now, right? It like aged like fine wine.
Well, you know me, I am craving some Chris Cooper.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty bad role for Chris Cooper.
He's doing a lot of Chris Cooper.
That movie is so crazy.
No spoilers, but Kevin Spacey at the end.
He kills
right?
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right. That is correct. Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah, but you see, because he is actually a closeted gay guy.
Yes. I love the lampooning of American Beauty and another classic, Not Another Teen Movie, with the guy who's into the bag, and the bag's just like always following him around.
Yeah, that is funny.
And the bag says the most beautiful thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, so Wes Bentley, he's got the future beard, which is pretty cool, right?
Yes.
Like in the future, we got to be pretty close to that future where you could get a beard like that.
Yeah, it's got like sharp points on it.
You could say you could probably get a beard like that now.
Yeah.
It would just cost a bit of money.
I'm not going to.
No? You have a nice beard. You could style it.
I don't want to have devil horn points on my beard, like little waves jutting out.
It would be it would define you.
I'm a blue collar working class
you're
district.
You're a coal miner.
Yeah, I'm a district folk.
Alex is the literal canary in the coal mine they bring down in a cage just to make sure there's no poison gas.
He dead?
Alex, check.
I'm okay for now, guys.
I'm fine. Chirp, chirp. Poor bastard.
They make me wear yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, and then the games, it's hard. They all die, whatever. A bunch of people die.
It ends up with Peeta and Katniss, and in kind of like a big fuck you to the system.
Yeah.
They're like, and they've also been playing up their love to get support from the people watching, being like, oh, they're in love.
Yeah.
So they decide they can't live without each other, so they're about to commit suicide by eating these poison berries.
Yes, which kill one of the other kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The real Ralph Wiggum style.
But that would have caused a big shitstorm if the two, lovebirds died or whatever. They're everyone's
committed
heroes.
Suicide. Yeah, brutal.
So they make a concession and they're like, nope, stop the games. Like, you guys are, you're both the winners.
Yeah. Yeah, and before they had told them that actually there's a new wrinkle if the boy and the girl from the same district can win together.
Yes,
yeah,
but they take it back.
They renege on that deal, and then they re-offer the deal after
they're about to
about to kill themselves.
Because if there's no winners, then there's no hope for the districts, right?
Which there would be a revolution.
A bit of the silly philosophy behind these games.
Yeah, which I'm sure we're going to be getting into more as we go on. Some other highlights. Let's see. Like, they make allegiances. That's part of it. And that's part of what Haymitch is trying to get them to do, is to, be like palatable and nice and make allegiances with people.
Yeah.
Or alliances rather. And, Yeah, one of them. There's the youngest competitor is this little girl Rue, and she's good at hiding and stuff. But eventually, the evil bad guys that kind of have teamed up, they get to her and kill her. But then that comes,
she bonded with Katniss.
Yeah, she bonded with Katniss, and that comes back to save Katniss because I think the other guy, is that her brother, or is it just they're from the same district
I think they're
or whatever?
from the same district.
Yeah, he is like kind of defensive of Rue, and he ends up saving Katniss's life against this the girl with the knives, who really looks like someone I used to know, which is funny.
And they do like a hand symbol because I think are they from District 3? Because they hold up like three fingers.
No, I think that's just this. They're from District 12.
Oh,
right?
that's just Rue's thing.
The three hand signal thing is just what they do in they all do it, right?
Oh, I thought it had something to do with Rue. But anyway,
so.
they start holding this up, and this kind of becomes like a symbol of like, revolution or fighting back. And then we see a moment where like one of the districts, I think Rue's district, kind of erupts into a bit of a riot post like her death or something like that. Because Katniss holds this symbol up. She's kind of like becoming a symbol for rebellion, which pisses off noted Cunnilingus fan Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to look something up. I'm sorry,
I just kind of threw that in there.
But he definitely is. Yeah, I also told the Donald Sutherland story as well. I'm not going to tell that again. Yeah. The story where he ate my pussy. I don't need to tell that again.
That's just another reference to Don't Look Now.
Yeah, I mean, he does. He has some sex in that. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically the first Hunger Games.
Yeah, more or less, and they win. What else? I mean, okay, so it's pretty brutal. Like the one guy left is like the crazy LeBlanc guy who like looks like a psycho.
He's from a district where they like breed him to like win these things. He's like from Sparta.
Yeah.
And what's funny is it's Jennifer Lawrence, Penis Malark, and this guy at the end, and they're all fighting, and he actually has this great moment where he's like, "This is all I was bred to do," like go ahead, like kill me or something. Like you see how actually broken and defeated he is, and how this system has like completely fucked him as well. And I was like, that's a nice little moment. And then Katniss like kind of shoots him off this thing they're fighting on, and he's mauled to death by a pack of mutant dogs.
Yeah, like so everything in the simulation is like digital, but it's very real and tangible, and it can hurt you and kill you in the simulation.
If you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world.
Yeah, and he gets like ripped apart by like a pack of wild
mutant
dogs. Yeah, they kind of look like the Ghostbusters dogs,
Oh yeah, the Guardians.
Yeah.
But Katniss fires an arrow at him to put him out of his misery, but she lets those dogs eat for a good while, before she fires that arrow. Like, I was like, just shoot him.
Yeah. There's one thing I wanted to note in this, and then there's another one in Catching Fire if I can try to remember it. But when Haymitch sends in like ointment for Katniss's burn, and she's like rubbing it on her burn, something very erotic about that. And maybe that's just a Jennifer Lawrence thing, but there's another moment in Catching Fire where when they like slide into the water to like
get rid of their fog.
It's like very chaste YA level, like erotic pain pleasure sort of thing, where she's rubbing the ointment on her burn and she's like, ooh yeah, and when they slide in the water, like ooh ow ooh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I love it. It's just funny, like thinking of all the little boy boners the movie gave to people. You know what I mean? I have a letterbox list that's locked, of course, not away from public view, of like movies that I watched as a little boy where I'm pretty sure I got a little boy boner in the movie.
I got to peep that list.
Ben. Oh, there's some crazy shit on there, buddy. There's some shit. You have to remember, I was a little boy at the time. Yeah. This is not an adult boner. This is a little boy boner, which is a very different thing. Like I'm talking like pre-puberty, like they're not real boners. They're little boy boners.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like our audience understands that. We don't need to explain it any further.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah. Okay, good. Anyway, that's the first Hunger Games movie. Gary Ross, he doesn't come back.
No, he gets replaced
by Jennifer Lawrence's dad, Francis Lawrence.
Really?
No,
Yeah,
they're not related.
I know.
They're
You
not.
didn't get me.
They're
You didn't
just
get me.
friends. They're just friends. And so just off the bat, like, what did you think about, like, as a point of comparison? So Hunger Games Catching Fire comes out in 2013. They're just ready to go. Do you think in general it's an improvement, or any better, any worse? Yeah.
I think I found the things, so similarly, I like what they go for in the Hunger Games Catching Fire a bit more thematically, story-wise. There are elements that I think are done so shabbily and just so kind of like, almost feels like, I don't want to say unprofessionally, because obviously a huge team of professionals worked on this movie, but things that I think they wanted to have impact, just kind of being delivered limply.
Okay.
And I think the biggest, so first of all, I think the whole game sequence in Catching Fire, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, but I think it's just, it wasn't done as engagingly in a way. There is less like hand-to-hand combat and there was like less tension.
I guess so.
There's a moment, we're jumping all over the place a bit,
fine,
but
yeah.
so in Catching Fire, before she enters the arena, she gets like a little sign off from your boy Cinna.
Yeah.
And as she enters the tube to get lifted, he is like brutally like
the shock
attacked.
troops come in and beat the shit out of him. Yeah.
And they
and
drag
it puts
him
her
away.
on edge, right?
Yeah, totally.
I thought that was great.
It was so cruel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing. And then she goes up, and then again, this time they're like in water, and there's like a swim to the cornucopia. And that whole part again is pretty tense and stuff. But then the rest of the games I just found not as tense, maybe.
I can understand that.
And because they're doing something different as well. Like they're going into this thing where, you know, a lot of the other tributes, first of all, are all previous tributes. They're doing something called the Quarter Quell for the 75th anniversary.
Yeah, that's how they get PETA and
Katniss
back in the games. Yeah.
So they're picking all from like previous winners, them being the only two winners other than Hamish Abernathy,
right?
Who gets picked, but then PETA volunteers as tribute.
Classic.
But and there's more of like a thing going on where like they're banding together more with the other tributes to try to like escape and bring down the system.
Yeah.
But and then the biggest example of, you know, I can think of like this kind of limp feeling I was feeling throughout the movie was the ending.
The ending is bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. No, go on.
Well, they just you can so they escape the dome, the arena. She fires an arrow to the top of the Truman Show style setup, and during a lightning storm, and it causes it to explode. And she kind of wakes up and is dealing with the aftermath of all these. PETA's been captured and stuff. She escapes with another person who was kind of in on it, another tribute.
Yep.
Turns out Plutarch Heavensby. Well, we haven't even mentioned him yet, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's like on a table and she hears that District 12, the district that she's from, has been destroyed, leveled.
Yeah.
Her mom's safe and her sister is safe, but the rest of the district is completely fucked.
Yeah.
And she's kind of on this table and like the music starts swelling and she's really sad and crying, but then her face quite poorly transitions to one of anger. And then they just play this like weak ass motion graphic of like the Mockingjay logo or something.
It's not great, right? Okay, the ending's not great, but okay.
Compared to other endings where people look up at the camera on a table, like The Matrix Reloaded,
sure, for example,
doesn't hit as hard.
No, and I mean that is a somewhat of a cliche way to end a film.
Yeah,
and there are some good examples and some bad examples. This is probably not one of the better ones, but I was so it's been a weird week, and I was only able to, watch these movies like after work, working like evenings and stuff. So I watched them really late, and I watched this one like very late last night. But I kind of dug it. Like I think it's a big improvement on the first one, visually especially. But it's also just like kind of, I found it much more entertaining. And I think the things like the cast is very strong in the first one, but it's very strong in this one, I think. And so first off, just a bit of credit to Francis Lawrence, who these days is doing the Hunger Games movies. So like 2013, 2014, 2015, Hunger Games, right? Then he did the Red Sparrow movie with Jennifer Lawrence, which is like a secret agent. I don't know. I never saw it, but that was like a kind of like something of a comeback movie for her, I think.
I remember that.
He's also directing the new one that's coming out.
Right.
He's Darren Lynn Bousman style. He's returning for his Spiral.
Also, these are, we should note, produced by Lionsgate.
Yes.
And Twisted Pictures.
Yes, and I believe Hunger Games, Hunger Games Catching Fire is the most successful film Lionsgate's ever done.
There you go.
Yeah.
Saw.
Hunger Games Catching Fire was a huge hit.
Yes.
Sorry. I keep playing footsie with Alex.
That's good. Though I never saw it in theaters.
No, me neither.
Watched it on a plane and I fell asleep.
Yeah, I should say I had seen the Hunger Games for the first one before. And so this was the first time rewatching it. I had not seen any of the other ones. So this was a first watch for me, and I actually really enjoyed it. And so the three other movies he made before this, one of which I like quite a bit and have seen somewhat recently and I think still holds up. And then it was just Constantine from 2005.
Great movie.
Yeah, pretty silly, right? Yeah. But like it feels, it works. Keanu is perfect, perfectly
Swinton.
Cast. Tilda Swinton
Awesome.
is great. Fucking the guy who plays Satan in it.
That's just Lucifer himself.
Yeah. Peter Stormare. Oh, yeah, he's great. It's good. It's fun. It's pulpy. I remember I saw that in the theater. That would have been like an early kind of R-rated movie I would get to go to.
Yeah.
Because of Canada's 14A rating system. And he made I Am Legend, another one I would have seen. Not as good, but there's some interesting stuff in that, I think. And then Water for Elephants. No one's seen that. No one has seen that.
You were talking about that being a really depressing movie the other episode.
No,
really long, depressing movie.
No. That's an elephant sitting still, not water for elephants.
I see where I went wrong.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Water for Elephants was 4 hours long?
I don't know.
These elephants are thirsty. Somebody get water for these. Get some Gatorade, Get some Pedialyte for these elephants, man.
Yeah, their electrolyte levels are dangerously low.
Yeah, that's our 5 minutes on Water for Elephants. Anyway, so okay, he's not like the great Hollywood director or anything, but if you look at Constantine, like there's some style there for sure, right? And even in I Am Legend, there's something going on, and I just feel like this movie is like filled with incident, and it like moves pretty quickly for another like 2.5 hour long movie. Yes. Like I don't know, I found it pretty engaging throughout the whole runtime.
I did enjoy the stuff.
Excuse me.
No worries. I enjoyed the stuff preceding the games more in this one than I did in the first one, because they start introducing some of these interesting dynamics. PETA and Katniss are being carted around the Panam. Panem is the name of the fictional world, and they're kind of shown off, and they're basically being used as a propaganda machine. And this movie, more than the first one, kind of introduces. So don't want to spoil anything, but I have started watching Mockingjay Part 1.
Yeah, we're doing these. We got to do these back to back tight together.
I've been watching so much Hunger Games in the last week.
It's actually fucked. Like we have to watch 4 movies in like a couple of days.
I guess you could say I'm full.
Hey, the Starving Games. Just wait till we do one of the parody movies, the Starving Games.
I'm there.
Yeah.
But it introduces kind of one of the big themes that I think the rest of the series is going to explore, which is propaganda.
Yes.
And it's not like, going super deep into it or anything, the mechanics of it. There's actually a very funny scene that I'm looking forward to talking to you from Mockingjay Part 1. I'll save it. But
Great.
That involves like propaganda in an obvious way.
Looking forward to it.
But, it's an interesting theme for this like young adult dystopian piece of fiction to kind of explore. And what they do in the stuff preceding the games is interesting, like they're forced to be like these spokespeople, and like they kind of want to toe the line and do what's like responsible to not piss off Donald Sutherland, but then they end up doing it anyway, which is why he instates the Quarter Quell. Okay. It's good drama. It's good drama.
Yeah, I agree. And like you were saying, like they're on... their reward for surviving Hunger Games is like you don't get to go back to your normal life and like whatever. You're put on like a train that goes around the whole world, like
the
just
Snowpiercer.
You're basically on the Snowpiercer train, but you're in one of the front cars. It's nice, and you just have to go on a press tour for the rest of your life, and it sucks.
Yeah,
dealing with all these weirdos, But yeah, one thing like I said, there's some cast in this movie, and the one thing that is that like elevates this movie like more than more than the first one, is that 28 minutes into the movie, and I timed it. I got the stopwatch out. 28 minutes ish into the movie, Philip Seymour Hoffman, the God, shows up, and he just looks like himself. he doesn't, I think his hair is like white, but he's not like, doesn't have future beard. He doesn't have, whatever makeup. He's not wearing a giant weird hat. He's just kind of like shows up looking like himself.
He does have a hilarious name.
His name is Plutarch Heavensby. What was your name again? Aristotle Washington. And I'm Smegma Franklin. And his name is Plutarch Heavensby. And he shows up 28 minutes into the scene where he, is like they're at like a ball or whatever for celebrating the Hunger Games, and he shows up and he introduces himself to Katniss, and they dance, and for like 2 or 3 minutes or whatever, he just swoops in and he owns the movie, and it's like the best part of the movie. Yeah. I'm sure it will be that scene will be the best scene in any of these movies. He just shows up, he's dancing with her. And he introduces himself as the new game maker, and the just serious, like, layering on levels of menace, just like huge, like, I am here to fucking kill you, basically. And in this highly organized and kind of whatever, like weird sanitized way where like I am going to like put you through hell and make your life miserable, and then I'm going to torture you and kill you in my game, and it's so creepy and it's so perfect. It's like I guess it's sort of around the time he was the bad guy in Mission Impossible 3, where he's very similar performance where he's just like, I'm just gonna fucking kill you. I can't do him. How does he sound again? Let's
stupid. I'm so fucking stupid.
Can I kiss you? Oh, I'm so stupid. Fuck, I don't remember how he says it. But yeah, he just comes in and he's like the master all of a sudden, right?
And it's good writing between the two. These movies are very uneven in terms of writing. It's not like they're all bad, but there are moments that make me laugh. And there are moments that I find effective, but that scene between them it's because he starts telling the story about Seneca Crane, the previous Games Masters. So at the end of the last movie, he walks into a room and he sees a big bowl of like the poison berries, and he says,
"Yum."
Yeah, nom nom nom.
Nom nom nom.
Yeah, you're right. He's just kind of menacing. I was like, he shows up and I'm like, oh shit, he's a villain.
He's so good.
Yeah,
he's so good. And it's like, what's Philip Seymour Hoffman doing in them? I mean, what are any of them doing in these movies? It's money, but like very, very impressive performance where he comes in and he's like, oh, that's what he says in Mission Impossible 3, where he's like, I'm gonna hurt her, real bad.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I remember that from the trailer. I haven't seen it. I am initiating Ghost Protocol.
That's number 4 now.
Yeah.
And they do initiate Ghost Protocol. Can I kiss you? Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so fucked up.
What are some of his lines in Happiness? That's a great.
Oh God, yeah. His lines in Happiness are.
What are you wearing?
Yeah. Or in The Master. Do you want to hear my Philip Seymour Hoffman in The Master?
Is it going to be loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pig fuck. Thank you. I said, there you go. That's that scene is so good. Yeah. When he loses his cool. Oh, dude. When the master loses his cool, you know what I'm talking about?
It's pretty fucked up.
When all of our masters in our life, bosses or
we're all just spouses, whatever. Freddie Quells.
Freddie Quells, yeah. Wait, that's not his name, is it?
That's Joaquin Phoenix's name.
Is it? Oh yeah, no, that's right. You're right.
No, Freddy, no.
No, but it's not Quell like the Quell games. Is it?
The Quarter Quell.
The Quarter Quell. Oh no, it is Freddy Quell. Yeah, you're right, of course. And Lancaster Dodd.
Lancaster Dodd.
That's
that's
so
it.
funny.
That's it.
But above all things, I am a man. it's that and Daniel Day-Lewis and sorry, this is now we're just into the.
Wait, what about Philip Seymour Hoffman in Doubt, where he's like, look at my nails?
Oh yeah, he's like, I like to keep my nails long, because I
clean.
like to fuck kids. and Meryl Streep is like, oh, I've got such doubts. Oh, these doubts, my head. Yeah. She's a nun, of course.
She's the Jewish nun.
Yeah. I hate that movie. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it in forever.
Yeah, I saw it when it came out, and I was probably at the peak of like movie cynicism, and just thought it was dumb. Yeah. Oh, my doubts.
Now you have such doubts.
I've got such doubts.
Oh, boy, chick.
That's so stupid. Speaking of stupid, I probably already said this too. We're so washed. When I was in PEI with my family in the summer, I was, as I kind of have to do the voices rattling around in my brain, I just had to keep doing a Daniel Plainview thing every now and again. Yeah. But normally in Daniel Plainview, you'd be like, I'm a Sean. This is my Sean and partner, HW. I'm an oil man. I think you'll all agree. Like this, why don't I own this milkshake and all that other stuff, right? But I wasn't doing any of that. The only thing that I couldn't get out of my head was the scene on the beach with his fake brother.
Great scene.
Great scene.
I mean, great movie.
Yeah,
Fuck.
where he's saying like, we're gonna look it up and go to the Peachtree dance.
Yeah.
And then brother doesn't say anything, and he says, I say, get him, look it up, take him to the Peachtree dance. And that, and then that's when he realizes that
the Peachtree dance.
Yeah, he doesn't respond. He realizes this isn't my brother, and then he shoots him. Blah blah blah. So I would just, and. My family, my brother, they have seen this movie, but like a normal people, they saw it a while ago and don't have it committed to memory. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I kept saying, I say, we're gonna look it up, go to the Peachtree dance. Just like the family is quiet. Now that we're all sitting reading a book outside, and then I chirp them.
Yes, Ben.
Take them to the Peachtree dance, and.
We'll do that, Ben.
They were just like, stop. Just like, could you just, like, we don't remember this part of the movie. We know what you're talking about. We do not remember this specific reference. And so could you stop?
I want to get liquored up and go to the Peachtree dance. That sounds like a good time.
I say, get them liquored up, go to the Peachtree dance.
I haven't done anything like that in too long.
That's the best part of the movie. And when he's like bobbing in the water too. Yeah.
I think for me, it'll always be, I've abandoned my child.
Yeah. Because it is my name from the Crucible. I know we did that. Yeah. Because I don't have another in my life. God, he's good, man. Yeah. And then when he's in the last of the Mohicans and he says, I will find you no matter what occurs.
I like in Phantom Thread when he goes, now kiss me before I'm sick.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah. Or when he says, I can't find this thread. It simply disappeared like a ghost.
Like a phantom thread.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, God, that's such good. Oh, no. And my favorite line in that one is when they're, she's spreading the jam on the toast a little too loud. And he says, this is altogether too much noise at breakfast. Or whatever he says. Something along those lines. Like, it's too much, whatever.
Doesn't he also have
Are you a spy sent here to ruin my life?
Doesn't he also say something like, fuck minimalism or something like that?
Yeah, he says all sorts of stuff.
I only saw it in theaters. I should rewatch Phantom Thread.
It's so good. Oh, it's so much better than this movie.
No, hard disagree.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was the PTA / Daniel Day-Lewis / PSH Philip Seymour Hoffman sidebar.
There's too much movement. There's entirely too much movement at breakfast.
Pig fuck!
And now we're back to Hunger Games Catching Fire. Okay, so you add in Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's like a pleasure for me to see one of the performances I have not seen from him before. Because of his untimely death, we only have a certain amount of Philip Seymour Hoffman performances. So it was actually genuinely made me very happy when he showed up. And the scene with him, the first scene especially, is so good that automatically this is like elevated this movie in my mind, right? Okay, but then who else do we get?
Jeffrey Wright.
We get Jeffrey fucking Wright as a guy named BT.
I knew you would love that.
I love Jeffrey Wright. And he's doing his full like, I'm
a nerd.
Yeah, his like puttering, murmuring, that to borrow a blank check phrase thing, where he'll talk like this and then he'll say this, and he is it is sort of a Daniel Day-Lewisy kind of thing where he's like, yeah, I can't exactly do it. It's hard to imitate. But he's he does that in so many movies.
Yeah.
That I think it would be easy to dismiss it and to say, okay, this guy is like chewing the scenery a little too much. But then you get performances like him in The French Dispatch, or his two most recent performances in Wes Anderson movies, as the kind of like James Baldwin analog in The French Dispatch, and as the general in Asteroid City. And I mean, those are the two best parts of those movies for me. He is so perfect, like perfectly fit into that Wes Anderson kind of mold. And I'm so happy that he's become one of his kind of stock players, because I think about his little monologue in Asteroid City all the time. It's so funny. Have you seen that one yet?
I saw it, yeah. I need to rewatch it. I was mild on it.
Yeah. No, you got to see it again.
Yeah.
It's a two-timer minimum. Yeah.
But Jeffrey Wright, also one of my favorite parts, in addition to the brain in the jar, in Source Code.
Yes. Oh, you're right. Oh, I got to watch Source Code again. Yeah. Directed by David Bowie's son.
Yep. Zowie Bowie.
Yeah, Zowie Bowie. Did you like Warcraft, Dad? It's pretty good, son. I'm glad you're doing your own thing. I'm going to die now.
Moon was pretty cool.
Moon. Yeah, he's a Beatle. Yeah. I know we all enjoyed the new Beatles song.
Now and then.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll drop it in. We'll drop in the old Beatles song.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, we have Sam Claflin as Finnick Odair, who is their new ally. Who I actually also really liked.
He was good.
Not super familiar with this guy, but he's in some stuff. And
interesting.
I thought he was good.
Character, because he shows up and you're just like, oh, this is another hunk for this. It's now a love quadrangle.
Yeah.
But then his character's more than that, and it's more interesting. Like, you know, he's
very menacing at first.
He's menacing, but he's also like fighting for someone, and he's also kind of in on this like plot. So overall, pretty cool performance. I was happy to see her, but she kind of has a bit of a silly performance. But Jenna Malone is in this film.
Oh yeah, so I love Jenna Malone in this movie.
I love Jenna Malone.
She's really goofy in the movie.
She's very goofy in the movie.
Yeah.
So the first time you see her, she goes into an elevator with Haymitch, Katniss, and Penis, and she just starts stripping. She's like, "Help me get out of this suit, Penis."
Yeah.
And he like unzips her back and stuff, and then I encourage you to, if you didn't notice it, go back and watch that scene. Jennifer Lawrence pulls some of the funniest like teen comedy faces. Like her facial expressions are like something out of like a teen romance movie, like not this dystopian sci-fi thing. Like she actually just like kind of goes like, huh? And she's just in the background. It made me laugh. It made me laugh very hard. But I do love Jenna Malone, and I was happy to see her in this.
Yeah, I was happy to see her too. I like her a lot. I mean, huge like boy crush, like boyhood crush ever since Donnie Darko, basically, right? Yeah,
Neon Demon.
I think that movie's stupid.
She was pretty hot in Neon Demon.
Yeah,
I'd let her cannibalize me any day.
Yeah, but you'd let anybody do that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Bones and all.
Bones and all, baby. That's that funniest part of that movie too.
I did watch that.
Yeah.
I did watch it.
Did you like when they say the title? Like,
yeah. A few times.
Yeah. Hey, there's pre Bones and All and post Bones and All.
Yeah. Michael Stuhlbarg and David Gordon Green. Was not expecting that. But also,
it's his best work in a long time.
Shout outs to Mark Rylance.
He's so as the Family Guy pedophile. Yeah.
Sully. Yeah, oh my God, that is who he reminds me of. Yeah.
Hey there, little boy.
I smelled you from across the way.
It's got that long S sound like that. Yeah. So he's so silly. What an amazing body of work he's given us so far. Yeah, so lots of okay, I do like this. I like the games are different. There's more thought put into the construction of the game. It's a giant clock where each like sliver of the clock at a certain hour, like some awful natural disaster or like thing is going to happen.
Like
there's
mandrills.
Yeah, there's poisonous fog that comes and like, you know, makes your skin all disgusting, and this old lady sacrifices herself to that to let the other ones get away. And then they fight mandrills, which I guess are, you know, not baboons, but close enough, and similar baboon type.
Is that what they are?
Right?
Are they mandrills in the movie?
No, they're mandrills. Yeah, for sure. And of course, Will can write in. We've ejected him.
They're actually subspecies of baboons known as. I'm doing what Will.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they look like mandrills. They're
they're mandrills. Yeah. They're mandrills. Yeah. Welcome back to Mandrillcast. Ooh, down with the sickness. Yeah. Oh, Anyway, and that is Mandrillcast. Yeah, so very well done. And that scene like has some pretty wonky CGI and stuff. The mandrills look fine, but as soon as they start interacting with them, it looks pretty bad. Yeah,
there's a lot of just CGI animals that are kind of like the jabberjays, and also so many names. Like Mockingjay, I just think is such a stupid name. Like I wish they just used regular animal names instead of Mockingjays and
No,
jabberjays.
It's different. Things are different. It's not our world. It's a different world.
They say it a lot in Mockingjay Part 1, obviously, and every time they do, I'm just like, shut up. But this is the first, so mandrills are a large old world monkey.
Yeah.
Which I just like that term, old world. They're old world monkeys, you know? They're not these new age.
Welcome to Old World Monkey Cast.
Fancy monkeys.
Yeah. Not your they're your grandpa's monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in the interest of time, let's go. Oh, we have Amanda Plummer as well as Beatty's wife, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and she's the one who's kind of she kind of is in shock, and it helps them kind of figure out the clock part of the puzzle. Anyway, you know, I agree. As it's wrapping up, it's kind of a little messy. It feels very rushed, unfortunately, because I do think this is a pretty strong movie as far as these things go. You know, once they figure everything out and they figure out how to exploit kind of the lightning element of it, and Katniss gets like kind of released from the game, and then you realize, okay, well, actually, you know, they're half of the competitors were in on this plot to protect Katniss and get her out of the game, because she has become this like symbol of like hope and freedom and resistance for all the districts, right?
Yes.
Including Plutarch Heavensbee, who turns out is not just evil, menacing Philip Seymour Hoffman. He is he's actually on the side of justice and freedom. And if anything, and I didn't go back to watch the scene that we like so much at the beginning, but if anything, that makes that scene even better.
Yes, for sure.
And I think if we go back and watch it, you know, what we see as menace, you now recontextualized, I think there are things he's saying in there that are helpful, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And it's not all just intimidation, even though that's the part that he's playing at that time, right?
Absolutely. No, there are elements like that are like clever and smart and interesting. It's a bigger issue for me. We could talk about in Mockingjay Part 1 when you kind of get to see the full infrastructure of this like rebellion. But it does kind of feel like they kind of pop up out of nowhere, you know, like so far we've only seen the districts kind of struggle and whatnot and be impoverished. And Katniss is almost like, it's as if she was like the fire starter for this rebellion and whatnot.
Right.
But then, especially in Mockingjay, you see, oh no, they actually like, there is this thing already in place that just kind of comes out of nowhere. And it's not as bad as like a Deus Ex Machina, but it felt a bit like that to me.
It is like that.
Like you'll see,
right?
You'll see in the next one. Like
okay.
we'll talk about it more then, but yeah, that part I was just kind of like, oh, okay. So there's been like this whole rebellion this whole time. But anyway.
Okay, interesting. Well, I'm curious to see that. I know Francis Lawrence I think maybe more recently had said, "Oh, I wish I maybe hadn't split the last book into 2 movies," whatever. But we will be checking out that first one, I think individually, and then we'll get together with MJ to watch Mockingjay Part 2 and
Holy
record.
shit!
Yeah,
MJ.
Mockingjay. Holy shit. You know, that's so crazy because I was talking to a guest at my work whose name was MJ as well. But guess what? So the J stands for Jane, but guess what the M stood for? And I already told MJ, our friend MJ, this.
Mona?
No, it's way crazier than that. Mayo. Mayo Jane. Mayonnaise Jane. Mayonnaise Jane. Can you imagine if your name was Mayonnaise Jane?
That's what MJ's hunger name is.
Yeah, MJ's hunger name is Mayonnaise Jane.
Yeah. Katie's working on hers. I'm trying to get her to go with like Ophelia Lawrence or something.
Sure. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, we need more Lawrences here. Frances, Jennifer, and Ophelia. So we didn't do a lot of, I wasn't really able to do a lot of like background or whatever, but just one quick tidbit for you before we get to our ranking of these films, okay? Because we had talked about that Coldplay song at the end. The song is called Atlas, and it's at the end of the movie there. It says here on the Wikipedia, British singer Ed Sheeran recorded 3 songs for the soundtrack, but Lionsgate declined the offer. Yeah, get fucked.
Those fucks at New Line Cinema used one for The Hobbit.
Oh, Ed
I
Sheeran?
see fire.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
one of them ends with an Ed Sheeran song. Those are going to be fun to re-examine.
Yeah, can't wait. Okay, let's give a little ranky to the Hunger Games.
Sure. How many tributes out of 24 do you give the first one?
Hang on. Let me see here.
I can go first.
Yeah.
12 out of 24. Like I'm pretty middle of the road on it.
Yeah.
There are things I like. There are things I don't. I don't think it's a flat out bad movie.
No, it's not bad.
But I don't really love it. Like I don't think it's like a flat out like good movie that I really want to watch again.
I would have to agree with you there. I think I would probably give it 12 out of 24. I wouldn't watch it again. Yeah. If I were to watch one of the 2 movies or to show it to somebody or whatever for any reason, there is no reason, but I would definitely pick this next one.
But it's a shame because you kind of have to know a bit before watching Catching Fire. But I do think
you'd have to watch the first one.
Catching Fire is an improvement.
Definitely.
Like out of 5 Mockingjays, I would give Catching Fire like 3.
Yeah, I would give it a solid 3.
Yeah.
Possibly on a generous day, even a 3.5.
Yeah.
I was pretty entertained by it. I think it's.
I think the high moments are so much higher and like so much better.
Yeah, and I you know what? If it stuck the landing, if they had just, because I think the reveal that it's actually like there's a bigger revolution behind the scenes that really could have worked, but the ending, like,
it's limp.
Yeah, and her shooting the like lightning or the thing is good. Like they just needed to give maybe just like a couple more minutes of like.
Yeah, it felt a bit rushed.
It's rushed, yeah, and it's for such a long movie. Like
I know,
why not just like kind of.
And it's interesting,
give it a bit more time,
because I didn't feel rushed during the first part before they get to the games, and I was actually enjoying it.
Yeah, and
then the games themselves kind of felt rushed, and I was like, oh, and I would have been okay with this being a bit longer and like developing some of these ideas a bit more. Yeah. There is like a great moment where, you know, everything's filmed and she's like about to shoot the arrow at the like force field or whatever to try to blow it out. And there's a scene where the Coriolanus Snow is watching her do it, and she's kind of on a monitor and almost looks like she's aiming directly at him when he's watching it. Like, there's cool moments like that and stuff. But then,
one moment we didn't talk about in the first movie, of course, has to be addressed is PETA in his makeup.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm
glad you brought that. It's hilarious.
It's very funny. Yeah, and it's funny that he's like, "Oh, I'm sick," It's very funny.
His special skill is make-upping himself so well that he's like camouflaged.
Yeah,
and he just like make-ups himself to be like a rock in a creek bed, and Katniss is running by, and he just comes out.
Yeah,
and
hilarious.
Like, it's so funny.
And truly worthy of the like meme status that it has. You know?
Does it have meme status? I feel like I don't.
Sure,
see
it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
What are the kids like these days? We don't know.
Fortnite.
You should have asked Will.
Yeah,
he's a young man.
Yeah,
he's not even in his 30s yet.
It's a shame we banished him.
Yeah, it's a shame he's never allowed to come on the show ever again.
He's actually outside.
Yeah,
outside
he's
the
whimpering.
Building. Yeah.
If you heard a whimpering, it's poor Will left outside.
Yeah,
we didn't even give him any water.
No blanket.
Guy.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go to work now, which is really too bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
it was nice seeing you again.
Yeah, it was good to see you too, and I'm happy that we were able to get the Saw XXX episode out eventually, and we also have that Halloween bonus episode, which
that incendiary.
yeah, spicy, an episode I'm sure that people listen to and say, like, this is pretty low key, isn't it? And then you get to that spicy bit, and you're like, oh, now we're cooking.
Now
I wonder what Ben has to say about this. And then I dropped myself in there, and lest you think it was all some bit, the recordings that I dropped in of myself were recorded like at 2 a.m. Anyway. But yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't make it to that. It sounded fun. But next year, we'll do it next year. And I'll actually book a day off and we'll do it, have it proper.
Oh, it'll be great.
Instead of relying on, this evil...
The system.
The schedule system, yeah. Anyway, we are going to return next week with Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Pig fuck!
Part 2 with special guest Mayonnaise Jane. Sorry, MJ. And it'll be fun to watch a movie with a guest and then record as we used to do before our schedules became difficult.
Unwieldy.
So yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
We were griping a little bit, like, oh, this is gonna suck. Maybe it was mostly me, but they're not so bad.
No, not at all.
Not so bad. The second one I actually kind of enjoyed. It's really not that bad.
They're fun movies.
Yeah.
Next time you see me, I'm going to be a super YA guy.
Yeah.
I have a
Mr.
Maze Runner sweater. Maze Runner 2, The Scorch Trials.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that's the best one.
Yeah, apparently. All right. Well, goodbye, everybody, and may the odds forever be in your flavor.
This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire.
Stay hungry, stay foolish.